Hey everybody, Way 3 News meteorologist Brian Good here on this Monday, and boy, it just looks and feels like a Monday outside with these low clouds hanging around, but there is some promise of sunshine coming our way in a matter of just 24 hours. First off, as we always do, we take a look at our severe risk for the next 3 days. Today, not much to talk about here. It's all way up to our northwest into Montana and the Dakotas, just a marginal risk here across our southeast sections. For tomorrow, that's where it'll stay, ahead of that low pressure that's stuck over the Appalachian Mountains, and then a new front developing in the plains. We're nice and quiet right here in the middle, and as we head into Wednesday, slightly better chance for a few rumbles of thunder Wednesday in our southeast counties. I'll show you why it goes backwards somewhat in just a second, and then our system here taking shape as we head into our weather pattern for the end of the week and the weekend. In the meantime, wow, what a difference clouds can make. First day of June. It's 59 right now. Now, a lot of you would say, oh, this could be a record. It has to be a record, right? For the coolest afternoon we've ever had for June 1st. Not quite. The coolest we've ever had is 62 degrees, set back in 1889. But as of midnight this morning, right when the clock hit midnight, we were 63. So that record then becomes safe because of that warmer temperature at midnight. So otherwise, we likely would have broken that today if it wasn't for that midnight temperature of 63. Cool weather indeed. And the reason why, again, is the cloud cover. Spotty drizzle and showers. Most of the activity has really been fading out to the east. Here's the issue we're going to be facing for the next couple of days. It's this area of low pressure, as I've mentioned, that's kind of going to get stuck here across the Ohio Valley. It's not working its way slowly into East Kentucky. Ahead of it, very warm flow. That's where your severe weather risk will be. Already got several warnings located there. Behind it, cloudy and cool and showery. Now, the low itself is going to work its way over to about West Virginia, it looks like, in Western Virginia, and kind of just stall. That should allow enough of the cloud shield to move to the east and some dry air to work its way in on the western side here to get us some sunshine by tomorrow, and then especially for Wednesday. Problem is, the low is going to do a slight retrograde about 6 or 7 counties to the west on Wednesday. As it does so, it may push that cloud shield back into central Kentucky, maybe a few spotty showers, but again, it will be battling then the dry air that's going to be moving in tonight and tomorrow, so the cloud shield may not be as extensive or as thick when it does that retrograde, so we still are expecting a partly sunny sky, even if it does move backwards, and very little if any rain within our viewing area, but just keep in mind, if you're traveling in that area, it's going to stay cloudy and showery in this region as this low just kind of gets stuck for a while the way it's looking. Here's Futurecast for the short term. You see how the low moves to the east. We get that dry air working its way in. Now, it's likely going to be cooler and clear for areas west, north of Louisville for tonight. We may get stuck in the clouds for many of us, especially in Kentucky. Tomorrow, it's going to be a patience thing. We're going to be very patient, allow the sun to work its way into central Kentucky. For those of you west, Litchfield up to Seymour, you'll get a chance to enjoy some sunshine quicker than everybody else. When we clear out, that will determine our high for the day. We're thinking well into the 70s is certainly reachable, but again, if the clouds stick around too long tomorrow, we may not get that warm. And this is only going to go through early on Wednesday morning, but again, there will be a slight retrograde here by Wednesday afternoon. You can see a little better here on this version of the GFS. There's Wednesday afternoon. You see there's a slight retrograding that happens with a low. Again, any range should be south and east of our viewing area, but it'll be close. Otherwise, just cloudy skies. Then as we get into Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, as we into the weekend overall, we're going to get ourselves into a different kind of a flow here. It's a little stronger for the northwest flow corridor here. The wind's aloft. Now, the question is, how will that transpire to weather here locally? And it could very well allow for several complexes of storms to move through the Midwest and the northern parts of the Ohio Valley. And we call these MCSs, Mesoscale Convective Systems. The wind fields are not perfect at 500 millibars, which is pretty far up for us to really see a strong threat here for MCS setup. But there is enough of a hint that we could see complexes of storms dive down from the north and west. It is worth watching. At the same time, it is also worth mentioning that a tropical system is showing up now on just about every model developing this week, moving northbound. Now, they vary on intensity, as always the case. If it were to get named, the next name on the list would be Bill. But at this point, it is forecast to stay away from the U.S. mainland, but it's awful close to the eastern seaboard, so we'll be watching that carefully. And the model show it does track north, and for us, you see another flow of thunderstorms. There could be 2 waves. Could be one as we head into Friday night into Saturday, or even Saturday night into Sunday, and then another one Sunday night into Monday. So it's a little iffy on when we'll see the timing of these storms. It does not look to be a washout this weekend, but I do think it will run a risk for storms again at some point for the weekend time frame. So stay tuned, be patient with us on that, and we're going to try to fine-tune those details once we get a little bit closer. All right, guys, that's a short blog for today, but that's just at least the short-term thinking of how things are going to progress this weekend. Gradual clearing the next couple of days as we get that low to our east to move out of the way, and then we'll get some dry weather briefly before we have to start paying attention to our north, the northwest, and see if it's going to come our way for the weekend. So stay tuned, and we'll have much more today beginning at 5.